Hi everybody, it's Thursday. We're doing a demo tonight. Tonight we are doing a Dutch baby, which is a sort of a giant popover, if you will. It's also called a German pancake, Dutch probably coming from Deutsch. So I don't think it has anything to do with Holland. It's actually a German pancake. So that's what I've read anyway. So right now I have a cast iron pan in the oven with some butter that's heating up so that when we put the batter in, it's just going to be all hot and ready to go, just like if you're making a popover or Yorkshire pudding. And that's got 2 tablespoons of butter in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 3 room temperature eggs. And all of our ingredients are room temperature for this. So I just took these out with the heat today. Just took them out a couple of hours ago and they are perfectly fine. I have a half a cup of milk also at room temperature. And I'm going to whisk those together before it becomes a sloppy mess. We're also going to make some homemade lemon curd tonight while this is cooking. And I got to tell you, I made this the lemon curd the other day, and it is so delicious. This is one of Amy's recipes, and it's absolutely fabulous. Okay, so eggs, milk, we're adding 2 tablespoons of sugar. We are adding 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and we're going to mix that up, whisk that away, and then we're going to add our flour. So you can see how quick and simple this is. This is a really easy dessert. Just have all your ingredients ready to go, or even mix your batter ahead of time. It's also a great brunch item. We have some Prosecco here I'll talk about in a minute. So if you're doing a brunch and you want to have mimosas, these are both really good bubblies. So it can be a little bit lumpy like a pancake batter. It won't hurt it at all. And we're going to call that mixed. I'm going to grab my very hot pan, hopefully without burning myself. There we go. And I am going to put, you can see the butter's all nice and bubbly, starting to brown a little bit. I'm going to pour the batter right in there. And this is going to go right into the oven. Hopefully I don't drop it on the way. So that's going right back in, and the oven is at 425, only I have it on 475. So we'll just turn it down a little bit. Once again, precise baking from Louisa. So that is our Dutch baby, and we're going to forget about that for 15 minutes. And I better set the timer because you know how I am. And we're going to get right to our lemon curd. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have a couple of jars, and I'm going to put them into some hot water. This has been simmering for a while. And just because I want to make sure that they are sanitized when I put my curd in them in a few minutes. And we're just going to let these, you don't have to, let them boil for 20 minutes or anything like that. If you're going to can them and leave them out, you want to make sure they're super boiled and clean and sterilized. But for our purposes today, this is going to go in our fridge, and I guarantee it's going to be gone in a week because we'll make some scones or something, and it's all going to get eaten, or we'll send these home with some of our staff. So I have 2 little jars, and you can see this is about how much it makes. We've been tasting it today. So it's not going to fill these 2 jars up completely, but it will give us enough. So one of the nice things about lemon curd is you can use it for so many things. You can use it like we're using it on the Dutch baby tonight. You can put it in layers of a cake. You can use it for the filling for a lemon meringue pie. And you can control how sweet it is and how lemony tart it is by how much lemon juice you put in or how much sugar. So if you like it less tart, put a little bit less lemon juice in. If you like it super tart or super sweet or whatever, just add a little bit. And you can play with that and make notes on your recipe. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put 4 ounces of butter, which is 1 stick of butter, and I'm going to let that melt. And as that's melting, I'm going to measure out, excuse me, I have to cheat and look at my recipe, 6 ounces of sugar. So if you do not have a good scale in your kitchen, I highly recommend it. Great thing is you can do kilograms, grams, you can do pounds and ounces. This calls for 6 ounces, so we have it set on ounces, but you can just change it to just ounces. You can change it to grams and kilograms. Let's just go to ounces. And we're zeroing that out so that I can just pour my sugar in there and keeping an eye right here, and I want 6 ounces, which is a little less than a cup. I think it was just a little under a cup the other day. Come on. A little more. There we go. 6 ounces of sugar. And I'm going to mix this right in with my butter here. And I'll give that a little stir with my whisk. So this is butter and sugar. And if you have a double boiler, it's a lot easier than doing it this way. We do sell double boilers here. I forgot to bring mine in. So we're making do with a bowl and a pan of water. So this is basically has about 3 inches, 2.5 inches of water. Don't want it to touch the bottom of your bowl, or if you're using a double boiler, you don't want the water to actually touch the top piece of that. Next, we're going to zest some lemons. I have my handy dandy microplane zester. I washed my lemons off. And you don't want a whole lot of the pith, which is the white part. You really just want that nice yellow. And these smell so good. It's such a nice, fresh smell. And we're going to want about a tablespoon, and give or take. I mean, it's going to add some flavor. It doesn't have to be exact. The zest is often a little bit bitter, but it's not going to add enough to make it bitter. It's going to add enough just to give it some really good flavor. Okay. Ooh, it's hot in here with that stove and the oven on, and being 88 degrees out today. And I'm going to do a little bit more since I have a couple of lemons here. And these are beautiful, really juicy lemons. Make sure you get nice, kind of softish ones. Not like super soft and squishy, but a little soft so there's like a good lot of juice in there. And I think we're going to call that good. That is probably way more than what we need, but it's all going in because that is how I do things. And next, we will juice these guys. I have a little juice left over from the other day, so I don't know if I'll need both of these. We have lots of ways to juice lemons here at the store. One of my favorites is just the simple wooden reamer. It's a little messy, and it doesn't actually strain out the seeds, but you can use just a small strainer to get the seeds out. But I just find that you get so much juice out using these. And you definitely want to use fresh juice for this because lemon is in the name of the recipe. So you really want good lemon, fresh lemon flavor, none of that frozen from concentrate stuff. I don't mean to be a lemon snob, but it really is important. Let's see how we're doing here. It's more than enough juice because these are really nice juicy lemons. Oh, nope, it is not quite enough. We'll do one more half here. So the Proseccos that we have, well, we have a Prosecco from Italy. It's a family that works with small vineyards, and we have several of their wines here, Fuso and Calyx. Is that the other one? Calyx. And they're really, really good. And then the other one that we have there is a Cava, which is a Spanish bubbly. They're both dry. They're both absolutely fantastic with orange juice for mimosas if you're doing this for a brunch. Highly recommend them. Okay, there's my half cup of lemon juice and a lot more on the counter. And I'm going to add about half of that to my butter and sugar. And a hot pad, because this is quite hot. And I just have this on like a medium-low at the moment. This is a gas stove, obviously, so the medium-low on this stove is actually still pretty hot. So I just want to make sure that my sugar is all dissolved and this is staying nice and warm. And then, moving back over here, I'm going to crack 2 eggs. These are also room temperature. I don't know that they have to be, but it's probably not a bad idea. No shells. So there are my 2 eggs, and I'm going to whisk those up just a little bit. And then I'm going to add the rest of my lemon juice. You want to make sure you're whisking while you do this, because lemon juice and eggs, the lemon juice can kind of cook the eggs, kind of like when we made ceviche, and it sort of quote unquote cooks the fish. And I'm going to put my zest in there, my way more zest than I needed. And make sure that's nicely mixed. This is all nicely mixed. My sugar's dissolved. I don't know if you can see in there. I don't want to burn myself too badly. So that's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is temper my egg yolks by taking some of the hot. And again, if you just not egg yolks, my eggs. If you just take the eggs and pour them right into the hot butter and sugar, you're going to get scrambled eggs. So you want to slowly add, just drizzle in the hot. I can't really whisk left-handed, so I'm doing this on the wrong side of my pot. Let's see if I can do this without, there we go. So I'm just whisking that in so it's cooling off the sugar, butter, but it's heating up the eggs at the same time. A little chemical process here that I do not understand at all. So this is pretty warm. I can feel that, it's warm to the touch. It's not hot. And again, I'm going to be whisking this while I pour this in. So basically we have sugar, butter, eggs, and lemon juice. And that is all it is. Eggs, I'm just making sure, yes, sugar and the lemon zest. And this is just going to thicken all by itself. Well, not by itself. The eggs are going to thicken it. And while that's happening, I want to talk about some upcoming things. You want to keep whisking this the whole time that it's happening. So next week we have Steve Corman from Venus Fizz House coming again. He was so fun last time. It's going to be great. I think he's doing a mocktail and a cocktail. And as he will tell you, he is the bitterest man in the world. He uses and makes tons of bitters. And it's really fun to learn about what bitters is and how that works. So that's September 2nd. September 9th, we're going to make Sally's Baking Addiction, one of our favorite blogs. Sally's Baking Addiction veggie burgers, which are basically black bean burgers. And we're also going to make hamburger buns to go with those 40-minute hamburger buns. September 16th, this is going to be really great. Alex Obregon in Newcastle makes salsa. So it's salsa, kind of, but he calls it salsa, which means sun, or sol means sun. He's going to be here, and we're going to be making kind of a ceviche It uses cooked shrimp, so it's not really ceviche, but kind of a shrimp dip using this salsa, which we sell here, and it's really good. It's hot. It's Scotch bonnets, but it's really flavorful. He uses organic carrots and stuff, and it's really good. After that, Karen will be back in the kitchen with me, and we're going to make amaretti and coffee, and then we have Maine Coast Fishermen's Association at the end of the month making fish cakes, so that'll be really good and exciting. We have more things happening. Hold your horses. Tomorrow night, which is Friday the 27th of August, we are closing early, and we are taking the staff out on one of the boats from the Merry Meeting, from the Maine Maritime Museum. The boat's called the Merry Meeting. And we're just going to have a little staff celebration and just enjoy each other as humans and not just as co-workers. So we will be closing at 4 o'clock, not 5 o'clock tomorrow. Couple of dates to save coming up on Saturday, October 2nd. It is Maine Craft Weekend in Maine. Bath will be having some things going on. Here at the store, we're going to have an author named Jen Bouchard. She's written a book that takes place in Cape Elizabeth. It's about family and relationships, good food, and life's second chances. I remembered it. It's called First Course, and she's going to be cooking, or one of us will be cooking some stuff. So it's a novel, but it has some recipes and cooking in it. And Terry from Mockingbird Books will be over here, and she'll be selling the book, so you can get them signed by the author and talk to the author about that. And then on October 9th is Autumn Fest here in Bath. And we're going to be having a big Le Creuset sale, so keep an eye out for that. No details yet. You'll have to keep watching this space for more details. We have a minute left, and we're almost done. My timing was impeccable. So how do you know if this is thick enough? You dip a wooden spoon in, and very gingerly so you don't burn yourself, you draw a line. If the line does not fill back in, hopefully you can see that. If the line doesn't fill back in, then it's thick enough. So we're going to turn that off. I already turned it off. I'm going to gingerly remove the bowl. And I'm going to let this cool actually just for a few minutes before I pour it in, but I'm going to pour it into our jars that we just sterilized. And let me get some of this mess out of the way. I have a compost bowl and I didn't even use it. I'm going to put my Dutch baby on there. Sorry, I'm organizing. There it is, folks. Very exciting moment here. Hopefully it worked. It did. Holy cowabunga, look at that thing. Whoa. Isn't that amazing? So the middle is going to settle down a little bit. I'm going to put that right there. Looks like it's a little, I think that's just air. Hopefully that's just air. It definitely looks like it's cooked. And look at how it just makes a perfect bowl. So we're going to put our lemon curd in there. I'm going to just slice up a couple of strawberries here quickly. I got the strawberries down at Bath Natural Market, so they're organic. I washed them anyway, because I always do. So again, this is a great dish for a quick, fresh-tasting dessert, brunch, a snack in the afternoon for your kids, you know, any kind of excuse that you can find. And you can put anything in. You can put in jam. You can put in savory fillings. Might want to cut back on a little bit on the sugar that goes in if you're doing savory, but it's just a really delightful, and you can see it's nicely browned. So I'm going to plop in some lemon curd, some delicious homemade lemon curd, and just imagine you're sitting at dinner, your hostess leaves the room, comes back with coffee, and about 10 minutes later she goes into the kitchen and comes back with this beautiful masterpiece. You do want to serve it warm. Think of like cold eggy batter. You don't want that cold. You want it nice and warm. And we've got some beautiful strawberries. If I was paying attention, I would have had some powdered sugar out to put over that as well. Make sure you don't touch the pan like I almost did because it is super duper hot. But that is it, guys. That is a 25-minute dessert. I would make the lemon curd ahead just because it's probably better to have it at room temperature than boiling hot. And like I said, you can put jam on there or fresh fruit or compote if you have fruit that you've made into compote over the in the fall or whatever. Absolutely delightful, super easy, super quick little treat for brunch or dessert or lunch. And we will see you next week with Steve Corman from Venus Fizz House. Thanks a lot.